It's now raining for days, but what is good when it's raining? To have internet. Are you looking for an unlimited data plan while traveling through Europe? Is that even possible? Let's find out. We're Philippe, Adelina and Elly, and we traveled for over 16 months around Europe with our camper van. During this period, we were able to stay online every time we needed it. In this video, we will cover the following topics: mobile broadband, public Wi-Fi, internet via satellite, how much data do you or we really need, and fifth, the myth, unlimited roaming data in Europe. Feel free to jump to the corresponding chapter directly. Whereas you'll find public Wi-Fi in every European country, it is good to know that when carriers or providers for mobile broadbands or internet over satellite are talking about Europe, they often mean countries which are part of the European Union, or at least in some kind of diplomatic agreement with the EU. Please keep in mind that all those informations are based on the given knowledge as of making this video. Mobile broadband with the antennas somewhere. According to public reports, and with a 4G coverage between 96 and 82% within EU states and around 80% for non-EU states, except Belarus with only around 50%, you won't have troubles getting a usable connection. Keep in mind that the more rural you get, the lesser you'll receive a usable signal. Rule of thumb: on non-populated area you won't find antennas because it's not economical for anyone. But you'll be surprised to find signal in very rural villages all over Europe, as long as no mountain or forest is blocking the way from the antenna to you. Speed. 4G and 4G Plus have theoretical network speeds of 150 to 300 megabits, which equals to 18 to 37 megabytes, as in more common digital units. In our experience on our tour through Europe, we mostly measured 4G real-life download speeds of 10 to 50 megabits, or around 3 megabytes per second, and from that approximately 20% upload speeds, which is enough for basically everything, from messaging, audio calls, music streaming, to video calls and video streaming, and even some kind of online gaming. Whereas online gaming, the latency can be frustrating while playing fast-paced online games. I know, there is a newer, faster generation of mobile broadband internet, but 5G it not only requires a newer device to receive the signal itself, but also often a special and more expensive data plan. And the coverage is not even as close as good as 4G. 3G, as the older brother, is, except for messaging, just too slow nowadays. Oh, it's still raining and cars are coming. Let's take a pause again. No, now they're coming when we want to record. Kommer coba. Okay, I'm ready. Hardware. To receive internet over mobile broadband, you basically only need a device with a 4G mobile broadband receiver. Most commonly, this would be your smartphone. Oh, car. And if you don't have too many devices who need to be simultaneously connected to the internet for a longer period of time, your smartphone can be already enough. For both Android and Apple iOS devices, there is the possibility to share their mobile broadband over Wi-Fi or USB. The downside of that is the instability of the connection as well as the battery consumption on your phone. If you do have multiple devices and want a more reliable connection, I advise you to have a dedicated device for it. This can be an old phone which supports 4G, or simply a 4G router. You'll find stationary 4G routers without and mobile routers with a battery. For simplicity and energy consumption, I suggest to get a mobile one with a battery, of course when you live in a van. We personally use the mobile 4G router from Netgear with an additional antenna to get better signal. We just need to insert a SIM card, which gives us access to the internet in the specific state. After almost 2 years of use, I can recommend it as a purchase. There were times we shared the Wi-Fi with more than 4 people simultaneously and had no unexpected troubles. By the way, feel free to ask any kind of questions in the comments below. Contracts. So now you do have the hardware you need, but no contract or SIM card which delivers the internet to you or your device. For this you have multiple choices. First, contract with an included international roaming data package paid monthly and addable data packages to the contract if needed. Second, SIM card with prepaid data packages from the specific country you're in. Or third, eSIM data plan from an online provider. While the first option with the international roaming is the most convenient one, it is also the one with many traps. I checked websites from the most common providers all around Europe and found interesting things like that the word unlimited seems to be used quite flexible, meaning just a portion of the unlimited data to be full speed and then throttled to near uselessness. Or contracts which you are bonded to 12 to 24 months, changing their cheap price during the running time of the contract itself. Or simply the fact that you'll need a residential address in the corresponding country, which can be troublesome. Nevertheless, as a EU citizen or citizen of a EU near state, I strongly suggest to check your available providers if they offer, or you might even already have, a roaming data package included in your current contract. SIM cards with prepaid data packages from the specific country, on the other hand, can differ in price per country and are also bonded to one provider. Means, if you buy a prepaid, let's say for instance in France from Orange, the data can only be obtained from Orange's mobile broadband. Whereas with international roaming, you can choose in the network settings of your device which network you want. Hence, you have the possibility to choose always the best one for your current location. When you buy a prepaid data package in the country you're in, you'll get a specific SIM card for this plan. This can be rather annoying if you don't have a phone with 2 SIM slots, because then you'll lose temporary access to your original phone number while using the prepaid data plan, whereas if you use a dedicated device, such as a 4G router, you simply insert the SIM to the 4G router and off you go. Last but not least, there is also the option to buy a eSIM data plan from different online providers. An eSIM is the digital form of a physical SIM card and can be configured with software only, so you don't need to occupy a physical SIM slot. Keep in mind that not a lot of phones, tablets or routers support eSIMs as of today. Also, after checking the prices of some known providers for international eSIM data packages, I have to say that the prices are pretty high compared to a monthly roaming contract or prepaid data package. Price. This varies greatly depending on the destination. Within the EU, a contract with agreeable roaming data package, but not unlimited, can start at €20 per month. Also within the EU, a SIM card with a prepaid data package can often be more expensive than a monthly contract with roaming, depending on your data usage. Outside the EU, SIM cards with prepaid data package can be quite cheap, like €15 for 500 GB in Montenegro, or even a fully unlimited data package for €10 with a validity of 30 days. eSIM are by far the most expensive. For example, Georgia again, almost €10 for 1 GB with a validity of only 7 days. Compare that to the 30 days unlimited for the same price. By the way, that boom boom in the background are people shooting, and there are cows. And sometimes people come and do a little bit of fast off-roading. We heard from the police that it's only allowed after 7 p.m. to shoot the gun. So guys, it's not 7 p.m. But I don't understand the rule either, like why in the evening when we want to sleep. Go on with the program. Everywhere in populated areas in Europe, you'll find public Wi-Fi. Restaurants, shops, gas stations, and some cities even have an area covering Wi-Fi for free. There are also apps like Wi-Fi maps, which show Wi-Fis all around the world with the corresponding password. Sometimes it works, sometimes not. Speed. Public Wi-Fis can really be helpful because they are often even faster than the mobile broadband. So if you need to upload download big chunks of data, it can be faster to go to a restaurant, drink a coffee and let computer do what it needs to do. Depending on the country and region, you could be lucky to find a fiber-connected Wi-Fi and therefore have down and upload speeds of over 100 megabytes. But, from personal experience and opinion, first, I do not trust the public Wi-Fi without a VPN. Second, many Wi-Fis we used over Europe were not maintained and borderline useless. And third, to buy a coffee and snack every time you need internet can be quickly more expensive than buying a data package. Going to the hardware for public Wi-Fi. For public Wi-Fi is no extra hardware necessary as long as your device can receive Wi-Fi. And the price for public Wi-Fi is basically free. Coffee and cake, on the other hand, are not. And also the VPN subscription, not. While there were and are deals for satellite internet way before Elon Musk, Starlink recently started to sell their RV version in Europe. Comparing the simplicity, usability and price to other providers, I will just cover Starlink RV in this video. As of making this video, Starlink covers most of Europe, except Russia and Belarus. All the other regions who don't have cover yet, here visualized in dark blue, will be added in the near future. But never forget, don't buy anything based on what it is marketed to be in the future. There is also the technological attribute that the quality of the signal depends on its direct sight from the receiver to the satellites. Means cloudy and bad weather can influence the signal. Buildings and even trees can, in the worst case, completely disconnect you. Also, you cannot use the service while being in motion. So driving and being online with Starlink on RV is not possible. This restrictions comes from a legal standpoint rather than a technical one, so maybe that changes over time. But there's a huge plus going for Starlink, and that is the availability at far rural places where you don't or won't find any public Wi-Fi or mobile broadband. So keep that in mind if you want to be doing home office far, far away in a galaxy or here on Earth. With a download speed of 50 to 250 megabits or 6 to 31 megabyte and around 15% of that for uploads, it is on the theoretical level of 4G+. But compared to what we experience in real life with our 4G Netgear router, it was way faster. Unfortunately, we didn't meet anyone on the road yet with Starlink RV who can back up these numbers. But researching for it online, there seems to be many happy users with speeds who back the claimed numbers. Nevertheless, there are also users who were disappointed with the speed when they are in crowded places, nature and city, or maybe just days like that. Maybe sometimes we will get it. Who knows? Hardware. To receive the satellite internet, you'll need to buy the hardware set from Starlink. This includes a satellite receiver and a modem router, yeah. Keep in mind that all that hardware not only takes up quite some space, but also draws a lot of power. 45 to 75 watts per hour are totally normal. Compare that to the other solutions, like the battery-driven Netgear router. Price. The price for Starlink can vary depending where you are living or ordering it, but it always consists of two invoices. First, the price for the satellite and the modem, so the hardware, and second, the monthly price you have to pay. As an example, in Germany, the hardware costs 629 euros and the monthly rates are around 120 euros. Which sounds crazy at first, yeah, but depending on your needs, might be still interesting. So, part 4, and actually a pretty important one, and that's how much data do I need, or you? In the end, it all comes to that question. Other than stationary internet at home, you suddenly get confronted with data volume, something that you often don't need to care about in relatively fixed everyday life. If you can't answer that question, maybe your smartphone will. Both Android and iOS devices do monitor your everyday data consumption. There are also applications for monitoring your data on desktop environments such as Windows, macOS and Linux distributions. We personally have a Swiss contract with unlimited local data and a cap of 40 gigabytes of roaming data each. This is enough for us to do basic online work, upload YouTube videos and other platforms, and even stream movies from time to time. You might now say that 40 gigabytes per person is a lot, and you don't think to be using that much. But as I said before, by measuring your data for a month, you can clearly tell. There might be some configurations on your devices that use a lot of data without you even knowing. Here are some suggestions to help reduce data consumption in general. We turned on low data mode, which reduces background data transmission, cloud sync, software updates, and system backups. We also turned off cloud backups on any messenger, WhatsApp, Signal, Threema, you name it. Reduced the resolution quality on streaming platforms like YouTube and Netflix. We turned off auto downloads for music streaming services, and we also turned off the refresh of any unnecessary app. Or just get the rule that download any bigger files on public Wi-Fi if possible. For desktop computers or any other computers, we also turned off any automatic cloud things and software updates, but please do not neglect security updates for your devices. If you do have a computer from work on which you don't have rights to do any of those settings in that manner, try to get in touch with your IT support. They might help. Is there unlimited data roaming in Europe? I was stumbling across this question quite a lot. With EU carrier, you can use unlimited data roaming. So goes the claim. So I checked a lot of well-known providers all around Europe on their website to find out. And all I could figure out was that there is a rule within the European Union called Fair Use Policy. And that goes as follows. The EU defines each year how much 1 gigabyte roaming data should cost at max. As in 2021, the cap was at €3 per gigabyte. So when you would have a contract with unlimited data in a EU country, then the price you pay for it each month divided by 3 and then doubled would be the minimum roaming data you'll get. Simple, isn't it? Let's have an example. Lars in Germany pays €40, excluding taxes, for his mobile phone contract, which includes unlimited calls, text messages and data. When he uses his mobile phone on holiday in Italy, he gets unlimited calls, SMS and at least 26.6 gigabytes of data, because 2 times 40 divided by 3 equals 26.6. By this rule itself, it doesn't destroy the chance of existence for an all-EU unlimited data plan, but by its logic it also kinda reduces it. At first it sounds like consumer protection, because you have the right to a certain amount of roaming data. But I can also see another motivation behind it. Or why shouldn't I just buy an European-wide unlimited data plan in Romania for €9 rather than paying €40 a month in Germany? If I don't mind the Romanian number prefix. So now I ask you, dear viewers, do you know about the contract with unlimited data roaming in Europe? And I mean a real unlimited one, without throttling at a certain cap. Please let us know in the comments. Very much appreciated. So, conclusion. While the monthly paid contract is the most comfortable one, because you don't need to search for a new SIM in each country, it doesn't mean that it is the cheapest one. From experience, in non-EU and non-Schengen states like Montenegro or Georgia, it is the best and cheapest just to buy a local SIM with a prepaid data package. We, personally, are pretty happy with our solution with the 4G router and also our contract, even if not all the European countries are covered. Keep in mind that if you travel through uncovered countries, you can also adjourn or pause your contract for the anticipated time of your stay in that country and save some money for coffee and cake and the VPN service. We are not supported by any VPN. We hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to leave them down below in the comments, and consider subscribing if you are interested in more such topics, or just see how we struggle on the road. So anyway, that's from me. It stopped raining. I'm happy. Have a nice evening. or morning. Karagat. There's another car coming. I hope they don't shoot me.